Welcome to Lille. This is where the Tour de France is starting. Are you tuned in? Are you signed up? Are you ready to catch every day live and on demand on Flow Bikes? You want to sign up for that down in the description, but I want to talk about this rivalry between Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard, because as you might have seen in that whole Netflix thing where Tadej's throwing the F-bomb at Jonas, you know, I love it. I love it. It reminds me of back in the days when we had these strong rivalries. Us fans, well, we dig it. And Tadej coming in as the hot favorite, throwing out a little bit of grit, well, that's what we want to see. You remember back in the day when Armstrong and Pantani were going at it, and Armstrong said, "Hey, Dumbo, Elephantino," making fun of Pantani's big ears. It was cruel, but it's nasty, and that's what you want to see in the heat of the racing in cycling. So yesterday, right over here in Lille, we had the big presentation, and well, when I get to the end of the video, I'm going to explain the scenario I want to see when we wrap things up on July 27th in Paris. But right over my shoulder, over by the Opera House here in Lille, had the presentation of the teams, and all the riders, every team, one by one, went up on the podium and did the circle thing. Everything was choreographed well. We saw Red Bull's new jersey. We saw the Rabobank lettering on Visma Lease bikes, the team of Jonas. We saw him supported by Sepp Kuss and Matteo Jorgensen. Also Simon Yates, who just won the Giro d'Italia. And last goes up there on the stage, Tadej Pogačar. And the announcer, well, he's this French guy, also speaks English very well because for many years he announced wrestling as well, US wrestling. So, you know, he's got the kind of announcer voice appropriate for Tadej Pogačar coming in. But I was just reading over the news, and yesterday also speaking there with the riders, what Tadej was saying about Jonas. He said, this rivalry, he said he looks forward to taking on Jonas again. It's going to be great for the people on television and along the roadsides. The last 5 years, remember, since COVID 2020, Tadej's won the 2 Tour de France editions, then Tadej won 2020, 2021, and then 22, 23 Jonas, 24 Tadej. That's right, two to Jonas, and then the last one to Tadej. See, the last 5 years has been intense between me and Jonas. It's a great competition and rivalry, and it'll be interesting to see if the little changes hands again. I'm looking forward to taking on Jonas again. And then he talks about the teams later on. He's not giving away much here, and they don't do that. I've interviewed these guys over the years, for the last 20 years. They don't really give away much in these, in the mix zones, especially ahead of the big race. But at the end of a stage, when you get them hot on the finish line, that's when they give out the juicy bits. Or sometimes in the past years, I've seen riders storming onto another rider's bus, going in there to threaten God knows what. I remember Froome went on the Astana Vincenzo Nibali bus. Tyler Farah went on to another sprinter's bus one year. He said, regarding the teams, where was this? UAE and Team Visma, they respect each other, and you must try to congratulate one another when they win. Aw, so sweet, so nice. Come on. We want to see blood out there, don't we? We want to see the rivalry really heat up, and it should, because there's a lot on the line. It's not just another title. Tadej will be going for his 4th, which will match Chris Froome. But it means so much for the team and all the investment they put into it. This is the biggest event of the year. And so Tadej would be coming off last year where he won the Giro, the Tour, the World Championships, coming off this spring where he won UAE Tour, Strade Bianche, all the way through Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Jonas Vingegaard, well, he has to come back. He has to do something. But frankly, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What I saw there in the Dauphiné, he did well in the TT, but he just wasn't up level with Tadej in those other stages to really give the indication that he can compete and beat Tadej. Although we did see it back in 23 and 22. The team around him, it has Simon Yates, it has Matteo Jorgensen, Sepp Kuss, great team, and Van Aert, who can step in there and do everything. But this UAE team, despite often messing up the tactics, Tadej gets the tactics right. the team, I don't know if it's the DSs or who's messing up these tactics so often, but they fumble a lot. This is a great Mountains team though, with Wellens in the Belgian jersey, Adam Yates, João Almeida, who, let me know, all you Almeida fans, I agree. I think he could be on the podium, perhaps second overall to none other than his own teammate, Tadej Pogačar. We're gonna get to the end here in a minute. I'm gonna explain the ideal scenario that I wanna see. Now, Remco Evenepoel, come on, you Remco Evenepoel haters, drop your hates down in the comment. I really do. I think he could win the Tour de France one day. Now, if everything goes according to plan, we don't have any crashes this year, anything, Tadej's gonna win the Tour de France. But Remco has a real opportunity, and he has the watts. Don't forget, he's TT World Champion, he's TT Olympic Champion, he's Road Race Olympic Champion as well. Both of those won last year in Paris. The guy is a complete unit, but he doesn't have the team around him, and perhaps doesn't have the experience as well, or maybe doesn't have the climbing legs up there when it matters, although I think secretly he's better than Jonas Vingegaard in this Tour de France. Now, that's going to have to play out over the next 3 weeks. Even if Jonas has 2 Tour de France titles, Remco has the Vuelta a España title, but yeah, that was one, and of course those circumstances where Roglic crashed like he always does, and then eventually had to abandon the race. But Remco, if he's ever going to win the Tour de France, he needs to switch a team. I agree with what Bradley Wiggins said recently. He would be super if he was in a team where he had the full support. As it is, without Landa, without Vervaeke, he's got this team, Catania, Van Imp, they're all right. But then they have Tim Merlier they brought in with one sprint supporter for him as well, as they should, because Remco's not a guarantee to win the overall, so the team doesn't want to come away empty-handed. Look at this, they're cleaning up all the city center here in Lille, getting ready for the big Grand Depart. I was over there running in the Fortress Citadel Park where they're gonna have the start of stage 1. It's really amazing all the work that they put into cleaning up a city ahead of a bike race, and we're gonna try to outrun this truck. Remco, I hope he goes to a Red Bull. I hope he goes to an Ineos who could really use a new leader and get the proper team support that he deserves. Now, earlier in this video, I mentioned the ideal scenario, what I hope will happen over the coming weeks. Now, over the coming 10 days, you're gonna wanna keep an eye on it. We got the stage 5, which is the TT, and that's where Remco can win. It's completely flat, and he was saying yesterday he wished they would give time bonuses in the TT as they do on the other stages. That would seem fair. What do you think? One thing they did do this year is they got rid of the bonus of the bonus second available before the finish. They had those points maybe on the penultimate climb or at some point before the finish on certain stages where you had bonus seconds available, and made for some aggressive racing. Getting rid of them, maybe they're doing so to penalize Tadej a little bit, to make it more difficult for Tadej to get those bonus seconds. So in these first 10 days, we're gonna leave here Lille on Sunday morning. We're gonna head out towards Brittany. That means crosswinds. We have the Mer de Bretagne out there. There's plenty of chances, unfortunately, for crashes, for crosswinds. It's nasty racing, and we could lose somebody in the first week. For sure, we're gonna see a big crash out there. For sure, we're gonna see crosswinds. Then, at the end of the first week, well, that's day 10. Normally, we have a rest day on that Monday after 9 days of rest racing, but they put it to 10 days of racing because on that first Monday, well, that's July 14th, Bastille Day. That's like July 4th, which, hey, today's July 4th. Happy July 4th. And we got Will Barty here, we got Sepp Kuss, we got Matteo Jorgensen, a lot of Americanos on the start list. It's a great way of celebration Independence Day, a day after when the race starts on July 5th. So 10 days of racing. Then that stage 10 on that Monday, Bastille Day, we're up in the Massa Centrale, Mont d'Or. Beautiful summit finish, but I don't think we're gonna see huge GC cracks, but we're gonna get an indicator of what's going on. Typically after the first rest day, and in this case even more so, the Tour de France just flies by. Well, in this Tour de France, it'll be even the same, and with one less day. Look at this, crowds, well not crowds, people are out in the lunch hour enjoying lunch. I'm gonna get some lunch. Now, it's gonna fly by even faster because we have one less day after that first rest day, and it's power pack stage after stage after stage with the Pyrenees, then with the Alps. Riders are gonna be on their hands and knees. We got the TT over in the Pyrenees. We got Col de la Loze in the Alps. And is this ND filter? Why am I using an ND filter? There we go. We're gonna have so much action on tap. And that Paraguay, is it the Paraguay TT? That's our second of 2 TTs. Not many TT kilometers in this year's edition. Okay, so now what do I hope happens? In the ideal world, we're gonna have Tadej win the race overall. We're gonna have Jonas maybe threaten him, but again, I'm not seeing that. In the ideal world, here's what I hope. Everybody remembers 2020, right? Primož Roglič was dominating the damn race. Then in that final TT, stage 20, he cracks. Loses, I think, nearly 2 minutes, and then loses the race overall. He had nearly a minute up on Tadej, and then he was a minute down on Tadej. Tadej was an up-and-comer Slovenian. Primož was the OG Slovenian, and he's never won a Tour de France. He's won every other stage race. Maybe he hasn't won the Tour de Suisse, but every stage race but the Tour de France. As he's near the tail end of his career, I hope he pulls it off. So wouldn't it be great if we had a Tadej Pogačar, Primož Roglič head-to-head in this Tour de France, and Primož finally gets his Tour de France victory. The gods of cycling, they open up the clouds and let the sun rays down on Primož Roglič, who rides through the 3 weeks without crashing. Big fans of Flow Bikes.
Flow Bikes, yeah.
Great, thanks.
Come here, listen.
Who's gonna win the Tour?
Pogačar.
Not Primož. And we have this head-to-head with two of the greats in cycling, two of the Slovenian gods going at it as we're approaching Paris, the Col de la Loze, those final alpine passes. I should add, though we really don't know how Primož is getting on. I think he's only raced 28 days this year. Argov, hi. He won Catalunya. And then in the Giro, of course, he crashes a few times, even if he had the pink jersey. That we just don't know how his form is, because after he abandoned the Tour after the Giro after 2 weeks, he hasn't raced since. And when he lines up in Lille tomorrow, it'll be his first race back. And maybe Remco's up there somehow, and Jonas, well, he's retooling, fixing things. I don't know. That's my ideal world. Let me know down in the comments, how do you want to see things play out over these 3 weeks, and how excited are you for the Tour de France ahead? And who's the dark horse besides those 4 riders? Which rider would you pick if it's not for any of those 4 riders to win the Tour de France overall? Buckle up, get ready, make sure you're signed up to Flow Bikes. For all of our viewers in Canada, you don't want to miss a second of the action. I'll be there day to day on the ground, sweating from Lille back to Paris. But first we got to get down south and all between, all 21 stages. I'm going to bring them to you. We're showing them live. We got race reports, race reviews. I'll do my I'll do some vlogs along the way, and we'll have a lot of fun. You and I, the Tour de France 2025, buckle up, it's starting.